Hey there folks, this is GreenXI, welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 135. In the last episode, Keiichi, he confessed his past life to his friends, and him and Rena, they had this moment where Keiichi realised he had been through different worlds and stuff, and Rika was talking to him about the fact that they are actually quite real, in a sense. So, in this episode, we're going to see where we go from there exactly. The summit was being held at a traditional Japanese restaurant in Shishibone City. When a black car stopped in front of it, 3 burly cops got out of it, followed by Higurashi. They were welcomed by Sonozakis corps members in equally black suits. It was something you didn't see every day. Thank you for having us. We apologise for being late. I'll take you to the room. Please follow me. There was a sign saying reserved at the entrance. Higurashi and his subordinates were taken inside. They walked through the restaurant's pretentious landscaped garden, and they came to the gorgeous Japanese-style entrance. A woman in a kimono was waiting at the entrance, as was Kasai. Upon seeing the police officers, they stopped chatting and bowed deeply. The woman in the kimono was Mion's mother, Akane, not someone you see very often, is it? Nice to meet you, Mrs. Sonozaki. Thank you for having us today. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming all the way here, despite your busy schedule. Not at all. I've been looking forward to the feast I'm going to have today. Oh dear. Keiichi Mizutei is famous for his dried bean curd, right? We'll go with that as the name. I can't wait. Long time no see, Kasai-san. It's been forever since we last met in person. Yes, it's been a while. Well, we seem to be at war, but I'm hoping we can settle this like adults. Although, we're ready for an all-out war whenever you are. No, we have no desire to fight. Neither do we. Everybody knows how messy things get when you get involved. But I'd like to avoid that as much as possible, since I'm not that young anymore. Obviously, this was a meeting between people who hated each other. The tension in their words indicated that it wasn't likely to be a friendly meeting. I'll take you to the room. Please follow me. I feel bad that our host is taking us to the table. Well, I know we sent you the invitation under my name, but actually, today's host is the Sonozaki main family. I'm sorry for the confusion. I see. Can I go back and get my bulletproof jacket? On the other side of the door, there were several tables and Mion was sitting at one of them. God, that's a bright carpet. Especially, even with like the faded out sort of thing that they put over the images. Since Mion was still young, her school uniform functioned as her formal dress. Still, it looked strange with both the police and the corps members in black suits. Yeah, stands out. Hello, you must be the successor to the head of the Sonozaki family. Thank you for having us today. Thank you very much for coming. Please take a seat. Mion politely welcomed the police, undaunted even though they were older than her parents. Mion gave Kasai a look and he tapped on the door. The waitresses, who had been waiting behind the door, started bringing out drinks. Higurashi-san, what's going on here? I'm not sure. Well, let's enjoy the meal first. Their dried bean curd is really famous, you know. They started drinking, but the tension continued for a while. Mion made the waitresses and the other members of the Sonozaki corps leave the room, and soon only Higurashi and his subordinates, Mion, Akane, and Kasai, were left in the room. Well, let's start talking about why we're here today. Akane nodded and began speaking. We're having this meeting today so we can resolve our misunderstandings. Such as? Kasai wanted to talk to you about Ren and Ryugu for personal reasons. Therefore, this meeting is about the private circumstances between Tatsuyoshi, Kasai, and Ren and Ryugu. The Sonozaki family has nothing to do with this. What are these private circumstances? Ryugu-san lives an honest life. How can she have any kind of private connection with Kasai-san from the Yakuza? Kasai? Yes. Allow me to explain. Kasai told the police officers that he happened to meet Rena at a coffee house in Okinamaya. He explained that Rena found something he lost there and that she offered to bring it back to him. That doesn't sound right. But for argument's sake, why don't we assume what you're telling us is true? What happened after that doesn't make any sense. I heard that you told your members to find Ren and Ryugu. That's actually my fault. Rena-san's father was worried about her because she didn't come home after dark, so I sent my men to ask if anyone had seen her downtown, but I made a small mistake. Wait a second. You made us come all the way here and now you're telling us to believe this bullshit? Could it be that you're making fun of us? Ushi looked a lot more like a member of the Yakuza than the real Yakuza did. Ushi threatened them with a nasty smile, and it piled all the more tension onto the atmosphere in the room. Ushi-san, please don't. Kumagai tried to make him stand down. Officers with hot tempers pair with the others who are good at calming them down, just like how Yakuza do. Ushi backed off with a grin. Kumagai took over, continuing from there. So, what are you trying to say? Do you not want us to intervene because this is a civil matter between Ren and Ryugu and Tatsuyoshi Kasai? That's not gonna happen. We're gonna give her protection. Mion opened her mouth for the first time in a while. You need to explain to me why the police have to protect Ren and Ryugu to begin with. Why? Because you guys are after her. Uishi answered bluntly, but Mion remained nonchalant. That must have made him all the more annoyed. What makes you think we're after her? Why don't you ask what's in your chest? It might know something. Uishi-san, we're here to resolve our misunderstandings. It's your choice not to listen to us, but I think it's better that you do. Oh, and what are we misunderstanding exactly? Your misunderstanding concerns the scrapbooks of Mayo Takano that Ren and Ryugu is in possession of. The officer's expressions grew stern all at once. All of a sudden, she had gotten straight to the point. Speaking of blunt, you want to protect Ren and Ryugu because she has the scrapbooks, isn't that right? Uishi and his subordinates glared back at her without saying a word, making it obvious that her guess was right. Kasai? Akane gave him a look, and he left the room. However, he shortly returned, carrying a black suitcase. Every one of the officers assumed that there was a tremendous amount of money in the suitcase, and that the Sonozaki family was trying to buy them off. Kasai opened the suitcase and showed the contents to the police. These are Mayo Takano's scrapbooks. I'm afraid we don't have the ones she gave to Ren and Ryugu. This is going to be our main course for today. Do you mind if I take a look? No, feel free. We can talk after you read them. I'll make my people leave if you like. Oh no, you don't have to do that. The cops produced latex gloves from their pockets, put them on, and took one of the scrapbooks out of the suitcase. There were more than 10 of them in there. We found them in Mayo Takano's house in Okinamaya after she passed away. Uishi and the others desperately turned the pages of the well-thumbed scrapbooks. You sure these are real? Without a doubt. Uishi-san, if Ren and Ryugu has the other scrapbooks, that means maybe the ones she has have the same kind of stuff in them. Uishi looked stunned by the contents of the scrapbooks. He started turning the pages faster, then closed the scrapbook roughly. Do all of these have the same kind of contents as this one? Yes, they do. Feel free to take the time to look at them until you're fully satisfied. The other officers also rapidly turned through pages. They weren't reading them, just flipping through. They took one scrapbook from the suitcase after another and flipped through the pages roughly. Uishi-san, this is absurd. These are just crappy occult novels. This one says that the netherworld collided with this world and that dead souls flowed across the gap. How are you going to use this as proof? It also says something about the netherworld. Mine's about creatures from the bottom of the ocean. This one's about classified weapons of the Nazis. Remember what Mion said to Keiichi about Mayo making up all these different stories and theories to do with Hinamizawa? This one's about the legacy of the Mo continent. That one's about Ozzy, the mysterious creature in Onikafuchi Swamp. Well, like Nessie. We can surmise that Ren and Ryugu most likely has a scrapbook about the parasite theory we've all heard of. The police were dumbfounded. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. The other officers were shooting glances at Uishi. They hadn't said anything to him, but they never really believed in the story of the parasite, let alone the bioterrorism. But Uishi had believed it and told them he had proof. None of the scrapbooks in front of them said anything about parasites, but it was easy to assume the contents of one scrapbook were no different in nature from another. In other words, all of them were just crappy occult novels. Well, Uishi appeared unable to accept the fact that was facing him. But now that he was actually looking at it, it was too difficult to ignore. Mayo Takano was an occult geek who had laughable ideas about the legend of Onikafuchi. But Rena took them seriously, and so had Uishi. The other officers could no longer stop themselves from laughing at the ridiculous scrapbooks. Uishi glared at them, and they stopped laughing. The main reason Uishi took the story of the parasites seriously was because the Sonozaki family was apparently after Rena Ryugu for the scrapbook she had. Plus, Takano, the owner of the scrapbooks, was killed. Because of these two reasons, he believed in that occult B novel. Uishi was frustrated without a doubt. He has to accept that he was wrong. Uishi was eager for any information that could help him solve the series of mysterious deaths of Hinamizawa before he retired. A combination of a number of factors made Takano's ridiculous theory become highly creditable to him. Let me ask you something. Why was Mayo Takano killed? We have no idea what happened to Mayo Takano and Jiro Tomitaki. Of course you don't. A liar doesn't call himself a liar. Come on, Uishi-san. Do you think we'd do such a lousy job as to let the police find the bodies? Mion wore a cold smile. She had said too much. Akane cleared her throat as if to condemn the statement. That made Mion shut her mouth. Uishi glared at the young successor, but he knew she was right. Then why are you after Rena Ryugu? We're not. I admit it's our fault that we made it look like we were after her. For that we apologise. The reasons which made Uishi take Rena's delusion seriously collapsed one by one. Mion and Akane looked at each other. They must have decided to let Akane speak. She did so firmly. We'd like to ask you a favour. We don't want to be involved with the police because of nonsense like this. We heard that Sankai from the police headquarters started work with the public safety division. They're going to do simultaneous raids on our family using the case as their excuse, aren't they? They've been at Uishi's request. Uishi took Rena's story seriously. He wanted to find the research facility that was developing the parasite. He was intending to use it as proof of the potential bioterrorist attack. But as he had no idea where to start looking, he tried to conduct simultaneous raids on all the facilities the Sonozaki family owned in the entire prefecture, in cooperation with the Task Force for Gang Groups and Public Safety. Normally, the circumstantial evidence he had wouldn't be enough to get their cooperation. In fact, Public Safety doubted Uishi's source because they hadn't heard of any potential terrorist attacks. They trusted their information network. But Uishi took advantage of his long career and his old friends, and he managed to get them to cooperate. Uishi's face broke out in a nervous sweat. Needless to say, he realised he was completely wrong. We caused you some trouble during the damn conflict, but the era is reaching its end, and things have changed. We're a Yakuza group that sides with the weak and crushes the strong, but we're also trying to achieve peace and stability, in line with these changing times. If we get raided now, we're going to lose face. Who cares about your face? I know we'll find something with those raids. We're going to go through with them. If you find something good for you, but if you don't, you know it'll cause a big liability issue that even you won't escape lightly, Uishi-san. Alright, sounds like you really do want an all-out war. Huh? If that's what you want, please carry out your job to your own satisfaction. We'll take on the challenge anytime. What? Akane Sonozaki didn't betray Uishi's expectations. Although her right to become the successor was taken away, Akane had been through a lot more than Mion. Uishi couldn't back out now, but he knew it was a fight he probably couldn't win. Kumagai butted in and tried to calm him down. If we put a stop to the raids, what would we get in return? Mion answered this time. We'll give you these scrapbooks as proof of our friendship. I'm sure you can use them to cancel the raid attempts. These scrapbooks proved how ridiculous Mayo Takano's theory was. Takano was dead anyway. Uishi could show people these scrapbooks and say he was fooled. He could still pretend the whole raid thing never happened. He might have to take responsibility for it, but if he didn't back off now, there'd be no doubt that he'd face a hopeless mess. If he was going to back off, it was now or never. The administrative staff at his station weren't exactly fond of him. If he made such a huge mistake right before his retirement, people who'd been looking for a chance for revenge would cut his pension with glee. His pension was decided by multiplying his base salary by a certain number. If they cut his base salary, there was no way he could avoid a big reduction. Uishi-san. He decided to back off. It was hard for him to admit mistakes at his age. He grimaced with anger. Kuma-chan, can you take over from here? I think I had too much to drink. I'm gonna go get some fresh air on the porch. Excuse me. Uishi stood up quickly and left the room, making a lot of noise as he walked. Kasai closed the door Uishi left open. The room was filled with silence again. At that point, Kumagai opened his mouth. We understand your point. Our intention isn't to cause trouble at all, to all the organizations you own. So I want to confirm that the police and the Sonozaki family will help each other to maintain the peace of the city. Therefore, we're going to put off doing the simultaneous raids. Thank you very much. I'm sure our leader, or you, appreciates the concern as well. As you promised, we'll take the scrapbooks. And there are 2 more conditions. Go ahead. First, if you find the other missing scrapbooks, you must bring them to us immediately. Second, if you find Rena, you must turn her over to us immediately as well. I'm afraid the second one's unacceptable. Rena is in a state of delusion. We'll make sure of her safety. We'll find the best medical facility we can take her to. She has the right to receive treatment. We can't accept that either. We have the right to question her about the murder of Takano, as a material witness, not as a suspect. Akane whispered to Mion. Mion in turn nodded and began to speak. Very well, we'll accept the second condition, but let's add another condition on top of that. We're going to send her a lawyer. You will only question her in the lawyer's presence. Understood. One more thing. You aren't allowed to delay us by not sending the lawyer on purpose. We'll start questioning right after we find her. We have no problem with that, but you must contact us immediately after she's found. We'll as soon as we can. Akane cut in. You have to call us before you question her. You must call us at the very moment she's found. This agreement is made in good faith, founded on our mutual trust. So please do be careful not to do anything that might waste it. Understood. You have my word on that. We'll try to keep our promise with the best of intentions. Akane and Kumagai glared at each other for a moment. Surprisingly, Kumagai was very calm. He was always in the shadow of Uishi, who was loud and noisy, but he had as much guts as the superior did. Uishi was good at taking care of matters in a rough and threatening kind of way, but Kumagai was good at negotiations like this. The meeting ended, and the police stood up from their seats. The tension in the room had finally ceased. Kasai put the scrapbooks back in the suitcase and handed it to Kumagai. Kumagai looked at Kasai, nodded lightly, and took what was offered him. This is a very expensive case made in Italy. Please take it as a souvenir from us. No, I'm supposed to take the scrapbooks. We'll return it to your office later. Thank you for your time. Please give my regards to the family head, Oyu-san. The officers left after bowing to Mion. After making sure that the police had left the hallway, Mion sighed heavily and finally let go of her attention. She spread her feet on the floor, flapping the rim of her skirt. Oh man, my shoulders hurt. Why didn't you take care of this, Mom? Don't be silly, your rank is higher than mine. Rank is everything, not age. Hey Kasai, have a waitress bring me a beer. Oh, and you can let the grunts in and give them something cold to drink too. You want me to bring only beer? Yeah. Oh, she can't drink. Bring some orange juice for her. Don't treat me like I'm a little kid. I guess my rank doesn't matter to you, huh? You'll always be a big baby to me. Anyway, your father pulled many strings for you this time. You should thank him. And you too, Kasai. You have to play it smarter when meeting with a common man. I'm a little embarrassed. By the way, I'm very impressed with Rena-chan for making a fool out of Uishi. You have many friends with good potential. I'd like to meet her. We can go to see her play together or something. Kasai, whenever you see her next time, let her know I said that. And don't tell her any more creepy stories, alright? Of course, I'm well aware of that. With that, they successfully dispelled the magical power of Takano's scrapbooks. Yep, the Sonozaki family is helping Rena out so much. They really are friends, you see. The whole mess shouldn't go any larger. The only remaining problem was Rena. Where could she be in hiding? At Keiichi's? Before I went to bed, I headed to my window to close the curtain. No. I saw the shadow of a person near the porch. Who could it be so late? I didn't have to guess who it was. There was only one person I knew who might come see me so late. I opened the window and looked more carefully this time. I was right. Rena. She was just standing still under the light. I wonder how long she'd been there for. It didn't look like she was going to ring the doorbell. It's just like in Keiichi's arc when she was stood there apologising so much outside the house. She was just standing there. She seemed to be asking herself whether to ring the doorbell or not. For how long had she been hesitating in front of my door? It looked like even standing was giving her a hard time. She looked very tired. I ran downstairs, put my sandals on and rushed out the house. Rena looked surprised to see me, even though I came out after making a lot of noise. Rena? Is that you? Rena! She looked relieved to see me for a moment, but then she soon glanced downward and looked sad again. How long have you been standing here? I don't know. Maybe since the sunset. Rena must have been staying somewhere outside for the last 2 days at the very least. And it wasn't like she'd been camping for fun. She'd been in a state of high tension the whole time, believing that someone was trying to kill her. Rena looked utterly exhausted. She seemed to have taken care of the deep scratch she made on her neck the other day with some large band-aids. The band-aids had cute pictures, but that only made the wound on her neck look more painful. I saw some band-aids soaked with blood on her arms and body too. I could tell she made them herself. She had more scars than she had last night. Anyway, let's go inside. You haven't eaten anything for 2 days, have you? When I tried to take her in the house, she refused with a vague expression on her face. It wasn't that she didn't want to go into the house, it was more like she had to refuse because she thought she didn't deserve it. I can't take it anymore. Even at this moment, the maggots are moving through my body. It itches really badly and it feels like they're about to come out from everywhere. Rena, I think you have some kind of disease. Why don't you get some rest here? We'll go to the clinic first thing in the morning. He understands your delicate situation, so we'll see you in private. No, I know it. I know exactly how Tomotaki-san died. I'm trying not to do what he did for as long as possible. Rena believed she was given some kind of suspicious drug that made her claw at her neck to death, just like Tomotaki-san did. She convinced herself that it was going to happen. She wouldn't hear anything else right now, but she really wanted somebody to help her. She wanted help, but when someone tried to give her a hand, it looked like the hand of the devil. If this was some kind of disease, what a horribly depressing disease it was. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna die, but I don't think I have much time. That's not gonna happen. You're a member of our unbeatable club, Rena Ryugu. You're not gonna die so easily. Thanks. Well, I wanted to say sorry before I die. Sorry? For what? Yesterday, I said terrible things to you, and I hurt your feelings. She must be talking about last night. She trusted me, but when Uishi-san told her about my past, she felt betrayed. And after that, everything I did out of goodwill seemed like the opposite to her. I know what it's like. I once felt the same way about you, Rena. Well, before I moved here, I did many horrible things too. A lot, actually. Really? I didn't know. What I did is beyond comparison. You just shot someone with a toy gun. Oh, hold on. Phone call. Okay, I'm back. What I did is beyond comparison. You just shot someone with a toy gun. I hit somebody's head really hard with a metal baseball bat. Everybody got hurt really badly. And I also broke the windows in my school, and... I know. But I don't care about any of that. You did that before you moved here. That's why you stopped being Rena Ryugu and became Rena after you moved here, right? To me, you're my best friend who's very kind, thoughtful, and fun. That's the most important thing. I don't care who you were before. So, I was way worse than you were. I have no right to say you're not my friend. I felt the same way too. I was afraid of you because I heard about your past. Oh, you knew. Rena laughed sadly. She seemed shocked to find out that I knew about her history when she thought I didn't. But I was like, so what? Eh? It doesn't matter how bad you were before you moved here. You've been through ups and downs with tears and laughter, but since you moved to Hinamizawa, you've been living a proud life. The important thing is that you regret what you did. That's all that matters. You've grown up to be a respectable person. I don't care about your past. I should have noticed it earlier. Rena is Rena. That's why she's Rena Ryugu. I couldn't understand that simple thing when she said she wasn't Rena. You heard about my past too, right? I was pretty bad as well. I was such a brat. I regret the stupid things I did. So I thought moving here was a good opportunity for me to start over. I believe I've been the person I wanted to be since I moved to Hinamizawa. Isn't it the same with you, Rena? It doesn't matter how you lived in Ibaraki. The important thing is that you're Rena Ryugu. You wanted to be in Hinamizawa, so I don't care about whoever Rena Ryugu was. Yeah, you're right. We can start our life over as many times as we want. We might make a lot of mistakes and hurt ourselves, but that lets us become the people we want to be. You fall once or twice in your life, but that's life. We can't let that beat us down. We have to keep going. So, I was such an asshole for getting scared of you because of your past. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. When you go through a lot of pain, you can be kinder to others. So, I don't need to know your past. And even if I knew, it shouldn't have changed the way I treated you. But we were fools. We couldn't understand that until we went through things like this ourselves. Mion knew that from the beginning. We were such fools. We hurt each other, we made each other cry. So Rena is, and will always be, my best friend forever. When you have to go through a hard time, I'll help you no matter what. Trust me on that. Thank you. I trust you, Keiichi-kun. It's very tragic, but what she said isn't true. She probably didn't mean to lie. But I knew she didn't trust me from the bottom of her heart. My words didn't reach her. I knew that because Rena kept telling me to trust her that time. She kept saying those words, while I kept hitting her with a bat, but they still didn't reach me. I don't think I have much time left. But I'll try my best to save Hinamazawa, because wonderful people like you live here. No, Rena. I'm not going to let them take over this village. I'll fight so we can regain the peaceful days we had. I'll defeat the conspiracy. She said that she trusted me, but she didn't understand anything I was saying. Even if I kept telling her that the conspiracy was Takano-san's delusion, it wouldn't reach her. Thank you, Keiichi-kun. Thank you for forgiving me. I do. I forgive you. So please forgive me for what I did to you. I'm going to save Hinamazawa, I promise. So Keiichi-kun, will you help me? I trust you. Only you, Keiichi-kun. We can save Hinamazawa together. Rena. Rena! I knew how bad of a corner Rena was driven into. If I was her, I'd be walking around with a baseball bat, thinking every single person around me was my enemy. Rena cared about me so much, but I saw her as my worst enemy. But Rena, you still trust me. Even when you're driven into this bad of a corner. I couldn't understand what you were saying. I beat you to death while you kept telling me to trust you. But you're different. You still trust me? You are. So. Why are you crying? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll never betray you. I trust you, Rena. So please forgive me. I don't know what you're talking about. You've always believed in me, Keiichi-kun. So I trust you too. I can trust you, right? You're the only one who trusts me, right? Tears fell from my eyes. I sobbed and nodded again and again to answer her. Tears welled up in Rena's eyes too. Before I knew it, we were putting our foreheads together with tears in our eyes. Well, I found a way to end this battle. Really? Yeah. I might not stand a chance, but this is the best and only resistance I can think of. Rena, I don't know what you're gonna do, but if you do that, we can regain our happy days, right? We can, can't we? We have to. Or I'm not gonna let you go anyway. Don't worry, Keiichi-kun. It's gonna be a come-from-behind victory. We'll regain our happy days for sure. I don't know what she had in her mind. It began with a delusion, it'd end with a delusion. If I encouraged her too much, she'd twist it into an attack on her. I was like that at the time. I took Rena's goodwill as the complete opposite thing. So I stopped denying her story. This was Rena's battle. It was her lonely battle. She had to fight against her own delusion. The more we tried to help her, the more we drove her into a corner. But I would always be there for her. Whenever she needed help, she could reach me. I wanted to let her know that, so I said just one thing. I'm on your side until the very last moment. No matter what, I'm on your side. Even if I told her to trust me, I knew she couldn't right now. I knew that, but I told her those words anyway. Even if she couldn't believe them, and if she tried to smash my head in, I'd say those words. I'd keep saying them until I die. Thank you, Keiichi-kun. Everything will be over tomorrow. We'll win for sure. And then we can play around in the club together again. With everyone. We'll return to our happiest times. Although she wished to regain her happy times so badly, I couldn't get rid of the darkness that controlled her mind. Well, I have to go now. I have to get ready for tomorrow. To tell the truth, I didn't want to let her go. I wanted to stop her, even if I had to grab her arm. But I couldn't stop her like that. If I grabbed her arm, she wouldn't trust me anymore. Wait, Rena, what do you have to do to get ready for tomorrow? It's a secret. I might ask you for help later. You'll help me when I do, right? Of course. I nodded strongly so she could tell that I was still on her side. But I didn't know what a come-from-behind victory meant at this point. The first thing I could think of is that she was going to invade the house of the Sonozaki family, which she thought was her enemy. So I called Mion to warn her after Rena left. Mion laughed bitterly and said, "Why does everybody want us to be the bad guys so much?" But she understood the situation. It'd be easier if we really did act like the bad guys. It might be better if we tied her down and took her to a hospital. If it comes to that, I guess we have no choice. But I want to believe her, until the last second. She still had the strong heart to trust me, no matter how badly she'd been driven into a corner. She's not like me, so I'm sure she can defeat her delusion. It's hard for this old man to understand what you and Rika-chan have been talking about these days. Did anything serious happen lately? You can say it happened lately in a way. I killed Mion a couple of days after the festival. I'm sorry, I've been talking crazy lately. Anyway, please don't lose confidence in Rena, alright? You know I won't. Anyway, anyone can catch a cold at the heart sometimes. It just happened to Rena this time, that's all. Well, she has a relatively high fever, but I'm sure she'll get better soon. We can laugh about this later. It's not as bad as you think, Kei-chan. That silly Oishi admitted his mistake. He doesn't even know about you-know-what. So we'll just say Rena overreacted a little bit, and this will be over. Really? You really think you can do that? Did you forget that I'm the next head of the Sonozaki family? I have both the skill and the power to do that. This old man has a meeting with Oishi at a restaurant today, and we cleared up all the misunderstandings. Oishi was shaking in fear the whole time. Hey, pretty good, don't you think? Mion bragged about her achievement, laughing loudly. I could tell she was exaggerating a little. Anyway, compared to the sense of impending doom Rena seems to be feeling, the others seem to be taking it rather easy. It was all up to Rena now. If she understood everything, she could go back to the peaceful world she wished for. We were waiting for her to reach out to us, just like we did by the abandoned car at the garbage dump that day. Rena, I couldn't win, but I know you can, because you're the one who told me to have faith until the end. So I know you can win. That didn't mean that she could literally win the last battle she was talking about earlier. But Rena would win. She'd win and she'd regain her peaceful life. Ho-ho. So, like Rena said, tomorrow is going to be the big day, which, you know, tomorrow's episode, I assume. I say tomorrow's episode, whenever it goes up. The next episode. Oh, last night. She's just sick right now. Yeah, band-aid to cover it up. Okay, let's check out the tips straight away. Last night. Tomorrow is the day. Oh, you mean the day we die? It's going to end up the same way this time, just like last time. I don't know about that. It's been very similar to the last one, but there were some things that were different too. Keiichi remembered what happened. It's a bit more obvious who's talking in these sorts of tips now, about the multiple worlds and all that, because Keiichi was always talking to the same person about this sort of thing. That's impossible, about the different worlds, I mean. There's no way he could remember. I mean, there's no way he could know. The more you say that it's impossible, absolutely impossible, the more it makes me feel like this is a real miracle. There's nothing we can do. It's going to end up the same way again. Not sure about that. Yes, it will. Everything will be over when the Higurashi cry. Which is all going to end anyway. The more often you throw a die, the closer to the total we'll get to the average. When you throw a die 100 times, even if a miracle happens and you get a 6 twice or 3 times in a row, the total will average out in the end. That's a fact of statistics. But when you throw a die 100 times, the total number ranges from 100 to 600. The more you throw, the greater the likelihood that the number will converge on the average. But the truth is, the more you throw, the more possible outcomes you create. There are 500 different futures you can create by throwing a die 100 times. There are 5,000 different futures you can create by throwing a die 1,000 times. There might be one future among them that enables you to actually finish this never-ending game of dice. Keiichi showed me a miracle. It taught me that it's not a waste of effort to keep throwing the die. Don't give in to something like an average. You think we'll never have a different ending, don't you? I can tell, because it's written all over your face. I think so too. I think we're going to have the same ending this time again. But I'm not going to give up hope until I throw the die for the last time. Keiichi taught me that. Something's going to be different this time. I'll try to believe in that. Rika, you're a very strong person. There we go. Now finally being told for definite, as if, you know, if you didn't realise before, it's Rika who's talking. Yeah, I know. That's because I'm a lot younger than you. Yawn. Rika? Meep. Why are you still awake? Yawn. It's not good to stay up so late. I'm sorry. I couldn't sleep, so I was just looking at the stars. I'm going to bed now. Please do. Good night, Rika. Good night, Satoko. So Rika was talking to someone, and Satoko interrupted. But who is that someone? I don't think it's been hinted on yet, really, that much. I don't know. Anyways, that's the end of the chapter, so let's just save up. And chapter 12 done. So, this has been GreenyXI. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit when I think we're going to kick off Rena's big scheme to go back to Happy Days and everything. Oh. Thanks again for watching, folks. See you again in a bit.